A group calling themselves the Shadow Brokers claim that they've hacked the NSA, according to foreignpolicy.com. They say they stole malware and they're auctioning off the files. Security researchers say the claims appear to be legitimate. A former NSA scientist says it could be hugely damaging, blowing some operations up. They are auctioning off what they call the best files for at least $550 million. The agency didn't respond to questions about the alleged
Good morning, it's Tech Talk Today, episode 257.
breach.
Oh, my name is Chris.
And I'm Angela.
Hello, Angela. Yeah, it's a big story we'll be talking about in just a little bit here in the show. Was the NSA hacked? Who done it? And what would be the reasoning? And maybe was it all just part of the original Snowden leaks? Well, we'll talk about it. But first, we got to bring in our expert panel of established, personal people familiar with the matter, quote-unquote, anonymous sources, Mumble Room. Time-appropriate greetings, Mumble Room.
I see greetings. Linux.
Hello, guys.
There's a Linux in there.
So we have ourselves quite a story today, and evidence appears to be pointing to another possible NSA leaker. Edward Snowden on Twitter said that he thinks this might have been something that Russia or another state released to sort of send a warning shot across the bow. But other journalists say that doesn't really quite square with what we've seen. And so James Bamford, who has been involved with the Snowden leak since the beginning and has interviewed Snowden for a PBS documentary in the past, wrote a piece for Reuters.com. Reuters. And in Reuters, he talks about the evidence would suggest that there is actually a new leaker. The tools, by the way, here. I guess I should back up a bit. So, and by the way, there's if I'm skipping something, we have a lot more detail in last week's Unfiltered episode 200. But here's the details. There are tools that are linked to the NSA that other leaks have confirmed their existence, but we've never seen the code. There's other things that have been cryptographically signed that are with keys that were signed by Edward Snowden that are also proving to be legitimate. There's a lot of evidence this is all legitimate tools from the NSA. Some people have said that the NSA was hacked. Somebody got into the NSA network and took them. Other people like Snowden have suggested
inside job.
These tools were left on other servers, collected by a nation or a hacker, and then released. So the NSA is being sloppy. And then some folks, like James here, are saying another leak source. And he has a whole document here that sort of backs up his rationale for it. He doesn't believe they are from the original Snowden leak because he himself has personally gone through the entire unedited Snowden archive, as he puts it, and did not see these tools in there. He saw references to some of these tools but didn't see them. And he also mentions that in 2003, another highly secret NSA document became public. It was a top secret TAOS, the Tailored Access Operations Division's catalog of the NSA hacking tools known as the ANT catalog. It consisted of 50 pages of extensive pictures, diagrams, and descriptions of tools for every kind of target and devices manufactured by U.S. companies, including Apple, Cisco, Dell, and many others. Some of these hacking tools included backdoors for persistent access to iPhones, turning on the microphones and cameras of Android devices, etc., etc. These tools are part of some of this dump. A number of the same hacking implants and tools released by the Shadow Brokers are also in the ANT catalog, including these code names that were also in the ANT catalog. So the tools match up with the code names we've seen in previous leaks.
So I need to go back to the title of this article.
Yeah.
It mentions malware. Oh, well, okay, not this article in particular, but I thought malware was a bad thing. But does it just describe a package of data that is not meant to be public?
Well, I guess it depends on if it's a bad thing in the eye of the creator. So when the NSA or the so what these leaks reveal is that despite what they've said publicly, the NSA has researched and discovered what are known as zero-day holes in many common platforms, like Cisco's routers, so edge devices, and Windows. And these zero-day exploits are ones that you can take advantage of right now, and there's no patch for it. And they didn't disclose to the companies about these 0 days, even though they say they do after a certain period of time. It now has been shown that they do not. They write tools that exploit these flaws, these 0 days, in Android, in iOS, in Cisco's, in Windows devices. That's malware. Something that's exploiting a flaw in an operating system and spying on the user or delivering a payload or redirecting them to a different website so they get a bogus phishing site instead of the actual destination. That's the activity of malware. It just happens to be malware that was created with your tax dollars.
I see.
It's kind of creepy. And there's a lot of cases of the FBI using these tools like this for domestic hacking cases to do spying on somebody who was doing it supposedly in child porn or somebody who was doing money laundering and things like that. They'll use tools to breach their systems. WW, you wanted to add something.
Yeah, I've been following this since it broke, and it's really interesting because even if you want it, like there's a free sample of these files, and they put it on different sites, and I think maybe they did it on the wrong sites because every place where the information is there or the links are there gets taken down like within a day or two or a week. So, and I'm not sure if it's necessarily someone from the NSA because when I read the initial posting, the English is not exactly fluid, and someone like that.
A lot of people have speculated, though, that it was so obviously bad that it was almost intentionally bad. Like it was sort of designed to throw you off the scent. Yeah,
I'm thinking it's got to be that. If anything, it's got to be intentionally bad just to throw people off.
J6, you say this kind of reminds you of a talk that was held at Blackhat that I think we might have talked about.
Yeah, I think in TechSnap you mentioned about a talk that the speaker wanted a separate organization that would monitor these.
Yeah, like an umbrella foundation that is sort of third party, disconnected from sort of the some of the industry, but yeah, it would manage this problem. There's an interesting article in the show notes that I want to link folks to if you are curious about how they got access to Cisco PIX firewalls. This is sort of a big deal because this gave them positioning at the edge points of a lot of important networks, and they went to incredible lengths to get backdoors into these devices and get access, including intercepting shipments and disassembling them and all kinds of just nutso stuff. A good Ars Technica article that reveals all of this. And it's sort of interesting. The Snowden Theory. The Snowden Theory is that Russia released all of this just to show who's really been doing some of the hacking. And it actually all kind of ties into the current U.S. elections.
Wow.
So the DNC was hacked. They had Debbie Wasserman Schultz resign and a bunch of others resign as a result of them obviously plotting against Bernie Sanders in their emails. Now, the Hillary Clinton campaign has always said publicly it's Russia's fault. No government official, no law enforcement official has come on the record and said it's Russia's fault.
That what is Russia's fault?
The hack of the DNC. But the Clinton campaign and a lot of their very powerful allies and public figures have said it's the Russians, and the media has followed suit, very, very loudly declaring it to be Russia. And so Snowden has speculated, Edward Snowden on Twitter has speculated that this is Russia saying, well, let's be a little honest here. You want to talk about who does the hacking? Here's some of your own tools. And we've got a lot more where that came from. If you want to keep playing if you want to be loose and fast with the attribution game, we can do the same.
Good. It sucks, but it's good that they're standing up for themselves.
That's what Snowden theory. Other theories are that it's another leaker. The timing of all of it can't be ignored, I think, in the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. And then one other thought, I just thought maybe I'd float past you guys. Because J6 brought up the retrospective of the talk at Blackhat, it kind of made me and others think also about Apple's fight with the FBI about getting backdoor access to the iPhone encryption. Now looking at Apple's stance, whatever the motivation was, if it was for marketing, if it was simply to have a talking points against Google, or if it truly was for ideological reasons about protecting the user's data, if you look at the scope of how important the tools that were just released by the NSA were, if they reveal so much about how the NSA works, how they infiltrate systems, the level of sophistication they have, and even though they're from 2013, they show how far ahead the NSA is than almost any other place in the world, any other state, any other private agency. I mean, a private company. They are masters of this. They have managed to own Cisco and Dell and Apple in ways that none of us could have foreseen. None of us had any idea of. Even people with the craziest tinfoil hat conspiracies didn't foresee how sophisticated the network of spying the NSA was. And this sophisticated high-tech agency still managed to have their tools leaked not once, not twice, but thrice now on the web. And Could any rational person make the argument that the FBI couldn't have the same thing? If the FBI owned a backdoor to every iPhone in the world, not just the United States, but the world. So it's not just the United States citizen, the incentive to go after the U.S. It's the entire world. The Chinese government, the Russians, the Indian government, any government that might want that, any individual hacker group might want that. They're all would be going after the FBI. And if the NSA can't keep these unconstitutional, absolutely illegal tools secret, there's no way the FBI could keep the iPhone backdoor secret. No way. And so looking back at Apple's fight, I kind of think it's more vital than ever that companies like Apple take stances like that and build their communications platforms and build these devices so that they can't spy. They can't look at them. And there was a really good talk, in fact, maybe I'll try to find it right now, by an Apple security guy at DEF CON, I think. And they talked about how they protect the user data. Apple Security Talk, DEF CON, or I can't remember where it was. I might.
I think it was the iOS security one from Blackhat.
Yeah. What? Well, let's see. Is this it?
All right.
No, that's not it. Yeah, it was like iOS Security Talk at DEF CON. Was it DEF CON, WW?
I think it was Blackhat.
Yeah, it probably was Blackhat, huh? Because that's more corporate-y. Anyways.
Chris, while you're looking that up, I think all three sides seem to be at least somewhat credible. I kind of have to pull in Snowden's side into question a little bit, maybe because of the fact that he is in Russia right now, still on the asylum and whatnot.
But don't you think that makes it more poignant that he's calling out the Russian government as the ones behind the hackers when he's in Russia? That seems riskier for him. That seems like he's taking a risk to do that.
Maybe so. I don't know. I certainly don't believe the mainstream media's, reason to blame Russia and that.
Yeah, well, I don't. It seems to me attribution from a presidential campaign staff is not grounds for cyber war between nations. I would wait for attributions from the FBI or at least the Obama administration.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I found that, and it looks like the anime just found it too. Behind the scenes of iOS security, I watched the entire talk. It is absolutely fascinating and sort of gave me new interest in the security of the iOS platform, how they designed the secure enclave, how they've taken steps to prevent access to user data. The fact that the secure enclave on iPhones is actually an entirely different system with its own ARM processor and its own base operating system. It's an entirely self-contained little computer, the secure enclave, and how it works with messaging back to the operating system. If you are interested in any of that, and if you have any doubt on the iOS security, that's worth mentioning. That's also the video where they announced their bug bounty that we covered.
The link will be in the show notes.
Yes. Now, that's enough talking about Apple iOS and the NSA. Let's talk about...
Android.
Yeah, Android 7.0. Nougat is...
right, the silent T.
is rolling out right now, and I just got it installed on my Nexus 6. And the one thing I really like is the notification tray. It looks a little cleaner. It's nice and it's more flatter. It looks like material, more designed there. You can reply inline now in the notification, which is
cool.
Something you could do like in iOS. You could pull down and reply. That's something you'll be able to do now in Android, which is...
Well, but what's cool is it doesn't make that one message the full screen.
Yeah.
I could see that being very handy.
Yeah. And it has better battery life for sure. Like I've tested that. New settings layout makes it a little bit easier to get quick access to stuff, and I like the clean way. And I can also change what's in this area, which is kind of nice in the notifications tray. And I'm hoping for a little bit better Bluetooth audio playback, but we'll see about that. Well, overall, from my previous testing with Android N, because I ran it in the past when I was in beta, I definitely noticed a nice improvement in the battery life. Performance overall seemed pretty good. I just did a couple of quick tests with the camera, and I can launch the camera, and that's really pretty quick. The camera is okay, so yeah. I mean, it's a Nexus. The camera is not fast, but on the previous release of Android, there was legitimately a time where with Hadia's 6S, she was able to open her phone and burst like 100 photos before I fired off a single photo.
Wow.
And it was just like I sat there waiting, and the camera icon was just taking up the whole screen, and it's just I couldn't. It was awful. So far in like the hour that I've been like randomly pulling out my phone and launching the camera, it's responded every single time. We'll see where that goes. But it's a pretty interesting release because it's not like a blockbuster. Everything's going to change. There's some performance improvements. The new JIT compiler improves runtime device performance, reduces the amount of storage space required for apps, and makes system apps and updates much faster. They'll also be rolling out VR mode Android N is ready to launch with VR mode, but I think we'll probably hear more about that in the fall. This is the big one for me, just because I think it's going to have greater ramifications for the Linux desktop. Vulkan API, which is the graphics high-performance 3D API, which is the next generation graphics API that's it's also available on Linux. So if your games use Vulkan, it's going to be much easier to also make them run on Linux.
That sounds so cool.
It's super nice, and also Vulkan's available for Windows too. So and it's a great name.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I was talking about the battery life.
Yeah.
This is something that's kind of nice, and I think something like this is coming to iOS 10. It's called Doze, and now with Dozier. When your device goes into a low power usage when you're on the move, so when you're like moving around, it goes into lower power. So the Android device will conserve battery when it's jostling around in your pocket. Also, Data Saver will limit how much data your device uses with Data Saver. When Data Saver is turned on, apps in the background won't be able to access cell data, which is nice to finally get that kind of control. Like you do that on your iPhone,
I do.
right?
Yep, that's the first thing I do is go into all the settings.
That's a good idea.
Yep, turn that all off.
For those,
well, and you didn't do it with your photo backup, and it
was
tanked
huge.
our data.
Yeah, it was huge.
Tanked it.
So productivity, split screen mode. Now you can multitask with ease, run 2 apps side by side in split screen mode. Picture-in-picture mode on
is split screen really necessary?
on a tablet? Yeah, it's nice. I'll tell you what, web browser notes that I'm taking.
Okay, well, that's
or like a video, or like podcast player, or you know what else is like web browser and Twitter.
Okay, but doesn't Android have widgets? Like, couldn't you have a podcast widget on top of whatever main thing you're doing?
Widgets lay on the launcher. They stay on the launcher. They don't float
Stupid.
above. Okay. Yeah, no, okay. All right. But most stuff actually, like my podcast player, like Pocket Cast, tucks the playback controls in the notifications too. So I can pull down the notifications and play and pause.
Okay.
Other couple of quick things. Picture mode for Android TV. I'm excited about that. Notifications have gotten some nice improvements. Bundled notifications. Yeah, bundle notifications from individual apps, which is nice to sort of compact some of those together. Direct replies, like I mentioned, some more notification controls, usability improvements, and things like that. All of that you can find, though. I have links in the show notes if you guys want to read through all of it. Some nice security improvements I should probably mention before we move off. File-based encryption is going to be big for Android N. It introduces file-based encryption. Encrypting at the file level instead of the block level, Android can better isolate and protect files for individual users on your devices, which is great. And trusted face. This is an interesting one. It's a recognizer that helps detect and unlock your phone based on, well, your face.
Your face.
Yeah.
Yep. Great. That deserved a ding. I thought you were going for the ding. Ding.
All right. Yeah. So I'm running it now. And if anybody
Wait. Yeah. I can just picture it now. Somebody unlocking somebody's phone while that person is sleeping.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to play around with that, because one of the new Samsung devices too, it has eyeball recognition. Anybody in the Mumble Room have anything they want to? Yeah, go ahead, Sweetly. You've had what? Oh, Mumble cut out. Oh, okay. If anybody has any Android N stuff, feel free to jump in. But otherwise,
if you lock the phone but you have the file encryption on, how's that going to work? That's something I think you should look into.
Yeah, I think definitely the encryption stuff is something worth playing with. Also, how does it impact performance? Because the last time around in Marshmallow, it sucked on performance. Huh. Interesting. I'm just
while
noticing
encrypting, or just in general?
Just in general. One, because it would encrypt the full device, and then it was just a dog. And in fact, it was such a dog that they walked back on having it turned on by default.
Is that the one where they partitioned the hard drive to have a copy of it on some of it? No. I know that.
No, I don't think so. Okay. They were using the type of encryption they were using was just super slow on devices like this, and some of the Nexus devices had it turned on. But the file level encryption, I think, is actually going to be a pretty good play, and I think they're using Lux, or they're using something that is pretty solid. And
a reminder that Android N isn't available for Nexus 5 and under, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So if you're listening right now and you're like, "Ooh, let me get no," sorry.
Yeah, which is kind of too bad. I would like to see them support it for as long as Apple supports iPhones. I think that would be nice. The iPhone 5 came out in 2012. It will be receiving iOS 10.
Wow.
The Nexus 5 came out in 2013. Go screw yourself.
Right. I just kind of see it as Costco not carrying that favorite thing that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad Costco carries it. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
And then you just move on. There's something else that they carry that, oh my gosh, I can't find anywhere else and it's perfect.
Yeah. And most of the time the Nexus devices are in a price range that is not as high as like a premium iPhone. So you kind of pay more for an iPhone, so it kind of makes sense that maybe you get longer support too. I don't know. It just would be really nice if they were really clear up front. This phone, when you buy it, will have 5 years or 3 years.
Right.
That would be
Well,
nice.
they don't know, right?
Yeah. I don't think they do.
It's hard for them to know. It's possible they know, but...
But it might not matter.
But it's really sad for the Nexus 5 because it was the reference Nexus phone. You have so many projects based on it and everything. It would be cool if they supported a little bit longer.
Yeah. Maybe they'll. Maybe when they roll out there's a new Nexus line of devices coming soon, like in the next month or so. Maybe when they do that, they'll like knock the 5X down to like a crazy low price.
Isn't it possible that Android O could potentially be released and work on a Nexus 5? Like, what if they're just like, well, we just no. Okay.
No.
Well, that's too bad. And I don't even know. Chat room, I don't know. Maybe you can guess what the O might stand for.
Oh.
Yeah, it won't be O.
It might be, I want to buy myself a Xiaomi. Is that how you guys say it? I always get this wrong.
Oh my
Xiaomi?
gosh, yeah. Didn't we just talk about this?
Yeah, we did. I had it finally, and then I forgot because, time.
I think WWNSX knew how to say it.
Every guys know, they're one of China's largest smartphone manufacturers. They want to be a lifestyle brand, and they hired, Google's Xiaomi.
Thank you.
They hired Google's Hugo Barra, who was one of their bigger, well-known Android folks. And there's rumors of a U.S. launch coming for Xiaomi.
Rumor has it.
And
so the U.S. market, of course, is a very important market for any consumer electronics and lifestyle brand, certainly for us as well. Obviously, we've got to time things carefully, given that we're spending all of our resources, obviously, in China, in India, in other markets like Indonesia, for example. But the U.S. is a market that we definitely have in our sights. We are going to make our way into the U.S. market slowly. Of course, everyone expects us to launch smartphones there in the near future.
Oh, near future. That's the big news right there. That's what they're making a big deal out of. More will come after they have secured a slate of Microsoft patents. That's what the rumors they're waiting on. They're going to buy a bunch of Microsoft patents before they come into the U.S. market, and then they're going to unload their high-end Android phones onto U.S. consumers.
It's really cool how the video went down like
it's
that.
Something.
So you can still...
I guess.
No, I like
nice.
that because sometimes I like to read and skim through the article while I listen to the audio. So that's kind of great. But also, that guy probably shaved that morning. He's got like the biggest 5 o'clock shadow. It's I mean, it's
Hugo grows it. Yeah, Hugo grows it big. I agree. He does have he has that look going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been working. He's sort of been prepping them, I think, now for a while, for about over a year, for launching in China. And they make some competitive devices. I would seriously have my head turned by them, especially if they managed to ship them in a way that got updated frequently and had nice optics and all that kind of stuff. So that could be happening soon. We will fill you in when it does. But in the meantime, we've got to talk about something way more important than that. Way more important. My friends, buckle up, because a scientist is working hard to make the Star Trek phaser a reality. Yeah. And in fact, this is something that's particularly close to home for us, because they're doing it down in Bothell, which is...
Oh, wow.
At the Lockheed Martin facility in Bothell, Washington, where...
It's just down the road.
Yeah, it is.
It's just down the road.
We develop high-power lasers. And I'm going to take you into one of the typical laser development labs that we have here, where we turn ideas into reality.
They don't actually have a product yet.
I was why though? Why even have this? What are the lasers going to do?
Because it's so cool.
Just shoot a laser. It's not going to actually like kill or anything.
Well,
right?
I don't know if they'll actually be able to get a stun gun. I think they're probably going to be killing people with those things. Yeah. Because the first thing you have to worry about is going to be the energy consumption of this thing. How are you going to get that? Then how do you get the phaser effect? The breakthrough will come through being able to store enough energy for a device like this so you could project a beam to get your effect. Because they think otherwise they kind of have the pieces together.
Okay, so let's talk about American art and architecture now. So when I took that class,
sure,
we looked at paintings from like way back when, like the battle scenes and stuff. We analyzed them and whatever. Can you imagine what a futuristic battle scene with phasers would look like if it was painted?
I watch Hello. I watch Star Trek all the time. I think about it all the time.
I've never ever seen a Star Trek scene.
I could picture it like an old Civil War
with blood
painting.
And like clean lines, clean cut, torso.
Oh,
arm.
There's some episodes.
Are there? Okay, well, I haven't seen them.
Sometimes the people disintegrate, and that's pretty disgusting. And in one episode, they blew a guy's head up.
Okay, okay, that's
and
closer.
his neck's just sitting there with his spine hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
It was gross.
That's good.
Although he was infected with bugs, and there was a conspiracy. They had no no choice. They had to do it.
Name that episode. No.
It's called Conspiracy.
Not you. Oh, okay. Okay, then.
Well, I think this is pretty exciting.
Somebody likes Star Trek.
And I want to go down there and shake this guy's hand, and then I want to see if I can get a phaser. It really seems like here's my thought on it. If they could somehow contain enough power to make a portable phaser gun, then where the hell is my better battery life on my phone? Right?
Yeah. Or anything, really. Light bulbs. Why don't they last longer?
So maybe by creating mankind's next best death machine, we can also improve the battery life in our daily gadgets. So at least there'll be some first world improvement for us all. Mm-hmm. There we go. Moving on. Speaking of first world improvement, it is time for our... Kick it! Yeah, and this one is not necessarily safe for work.
Yeah.
I'm going to just put that disclaimer out there. There's nothing overtly awful about it, but it's really about boosting your manhood. And
by now, you've turned down the volume.
Yeah.
If you're at work.
And I would say something we should all consider, perhaps.
You pump iron to get stronger. Cardio builds your endurance. You're in control of your movements. But you're forgetting something. It's arguably the strongest muscle you should have. This is the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor muscles are responsible for sedentary lifestyle and negative effects of sports like biking slows down blood flow. For recovery, contraction of the pelvic floor muscles give you stronger muscles that enhance and promote blood flow to the region. Stronger muscle, more blood flow, more stamina, and more endurance. Ow! Medical research strongly supports the positive effects of pelvic floor exercise on erection quality, prostate, and urinary tract health. Also, it's the only way to experience multiple orgasms.
What? I don't know about this.
That's why we've created Vilif to hone this important hidden muscle. Vilif seamlessly integrated infused state of the thoughtfully designed fitness shorts with the patented sensor system.
Batman underwear.
Even the slightest involuntary, unconscious muscle contractions can be captured and monitored. Vilif then corresponds with a detachable tracker wirelessly, which records and transmits your exercise data to an exclusive app.
Yep.
Now, it's time to exercise your pelvic floor.
Uh-huh.
Nah. This isn't how you keep your pelvic floor fit.
Brutal exercising.
At least it's not the way we do it. Vilif provides guidance and customized workout plans to help you to achieve your goal. All this is done through our app, which visualizes your interactions with Vilif. Vilif pants are integrated with a vibrating module.
What?
With adjustments to your settings, it reminds you to exercise with a discrete vibration only you recognize.
All right, I gotta stop right here. How concerned about your performance do you have to be willing to buy super underwear that vibrate to remind you to do your pelvic crunches?
Why is this not a women's product?
Well, it benefits men too.
We have a pelvic floor.
Yeah, both men and women do.
Don't we already have products like that available for them?
We've covered them in the past. Remember, didn't we cover
this for like a guy?
Yeah, it is. Didn't we cover one for women a long time ago?
I don't know.
I think we did.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right.
While office hours,
do you see that weird grin he had when
aren't the time for sports? They can be with Vilif.
Oh! Oh no.
What is the exercise? I don't get it.
Our main goal is to integrate pelvic floor exercises into your daily life to assist you in training this crucial part of your body.
Crucial?
Yep, you can play a game with your pelvic floor. With Vilif, your ability to achieve peak performance really just boils down to how badly you want it. Progress is then relayed to your phone, so you can see exactly how much more you're capable of.
Is there anything you're hiding from me?
Yeah, babe. Just put your seatbelt on.
Is there ever a time when any part of your body should be neglected? We don't think so.
So you can buy it right now retail for $250. Otherwise, you can. There's backers at $125 levels. They are looking for $50,000. They've currently raised 54% at $26,753. So internet connected underwear. This is the Internet of Underwear. You put a tracker device in the underwear, which then connects to your smartphone and relays back to their app, where it analyzes your pelvic exercises and gives you reports and reminders.
No.
This is
really bizarre. I don't even know how they raised $26,000, especially with that video.
But it's not the first weird thing like this we've seen, that where like they take something that's internet connected and they add it to something that's quite odd. And like the whole the sort of like the underlying message here is one that's not, I don't really think, super positive. It's like, be super paranoid about this particular aspect of yourself and get our Batman underwear and run around with our Batman underwear all day. And don't tell your significant other either about it.
And be on your phone more and play games too.
Yeah, and then make weird faces at work. Like the whole thing is totally odd. But yet at the same time, I am fascinated by the bigger meta trend here, that there is some kind of desire to connect everything about us, even our pelvic exercises.
It must be man kegels.
It is, yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
But what does that look like? Because they didn't show what
same set of muscles, really. It's the same, kind of basic thingy, I think, down there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been told it's good to do. But I think it's probably preying on people's insecurities, too.
Absolutely.
So what do you think? Totally should fund this, right? We should totally fund this one, right?
Zero dong one day.
If you're worried about prostate health, then yes.
All right. So does anybody...
Oh, yeah, I back it. I would definitely back it.
All right, good.
That was funny.
I would never use this product, but I would definitely back it.
All right, so we got two backers.
That's interesting.
If we had a third backer, I think you could override our vote. I almost wonder if I should just swing vote just to see if this thing makes it to market. Let's see. I'm going to read a little more about it. Vival, is that how you say it? Instructional app, wireless tracker, sensor embedded shorts.
I think it's Vyliv.
Vyliv in action, like Vivility or something.
It's not a Kickstarter if it doesn't have a weird, unpronounceable name.
That's true. It does check that box. That's a good point. You look at that. It has a charging docking station. I'm kind of Token Ring thinks we should back it.
So does Pong Fong.
Oh,
as
no.
As long as it can run on Arch.
Oh,
Please
no.
note, that's the qualification.
All right, let's do it.
I better not see that go through the finances.
There we go, everybody. You're just jelly because you want one for yourself.
I'm going to be watching the QuickBooks.
You're like, this is not fair. The lady should have something like this.
No, it's just, wow.
Actually, if you check the back
Can't
catalog.
women still use this?
Yeah, maybe. It's got that built-in vibrating functionality. You never know.
Yo.
All right, well, if you end up picking one up, pass along your experience because, well...
I think it's states only.
I don't think you'll be hearing a review on this show anytime soon. I'm too busy. I got a secret project. Speaking of Snowden leaks, we had a leak ourselves. There was a data leak on the Patreon subreddit. Wait, no, that's not what it's called. What do you call the Patreon only feed? What's that called? Like the members only feed or something? What do they call that? Whatever they call it, there was something that was posted there that you may or may not be interested if you support the network. And I may or may not be talking about it right now because it's a secret. But I'm just saying, there's something on there for the patrons only.
Now, did you do what you said you might do so that it is not
No,
as
I
obvious?
should do that, though. I should do that. I could do that, yeah, because otherwise it really could give it away, huh? We're going to have something fun and exciting new on Wednesday, so check back. If you're listening to this show, we're recording this on Monday. Check back at the Jupiter Broadcasting website on Wednesday. And if you're a patron, go check your Patreon members only feed or whatever that's called. Yeah. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Patreon.com/today is where you go to support this network. That's our audience funded approach. We love this. This gives us the ability to try out new things, concoct brand new ideas, and experiment in ways that you really wouldn't be able to do if you were fully and solely sponsor funded. It totally changes the dynamic of how you create something, how you originate something. Who does it please? The sponsor or the audience? And Patreon's how we do this. Your funding allows us to create concepts and launch and test shows without thinking about what's the best way to pitch this to a sponsor. And that's a huge deal for us. And I want to thank all 688 of you over on the Patreon patreon.com/today, for letting me do my work that way, because I would not enjoy it any other way. So this is enabling me to do what I like to do in a way that feels genuine and legitimately like the best way to produce content, especially content that at the end of the day you want to be consumed and enjoyed by that very audience. It's pretty great. Is there anything else you want to add to the Patreon message? Patreon.com/today if you'd like to sign up, get access to the back catalog. When you sign up now, it tells you there's like a tease on here. Did you see this? 82 Patreon-only posts become unlocked when you sign up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I do have, for those that, so obviously we have two different Patreons, one for Tech Talk Today and the network, and then the other one for Unfilter. And we just celebrated Unfilter 200 last week.
Mm-hmm.
All the swag level members are receiving the Unfilter 200 poster. Everybody else, they can buy it. It's only like, it's $19.50, and there might be like a 30% off coupon on that website. So check that out. And then also...
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, stop. Do you have this link up?
No. Where would I find it?
JupiterBroadcasting.com/stickers.
Where do I go? /sticky?
Stickers.
Stickums?
I have a couple new stickers on there.
What?
Scroll down.
What?
So we have the Jupiter Broadcasting Rocket and the Unfilter 200.
Pow.
There will be another BSD Now sticker posted shortly. If you want to place an order for the new BSD Now sticker, go ahead and wait to place your sticker order until it's on there. It's basically the same sticker, but cut out and a little bigger. So it's a die cut. Anyway, check out the stickers. There's some really great ones on there. The Jupiter Broadcasting Rocket, personally, I think is amazing. My idea completely. And yeah, I'm super excited for those.
I like the Noah Switch Me to Linux sticker. That's a good one too. And of course, I got a soft spot for that round Linux Action Show logo.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a
There's been a lot of orders for the Linux Action Show. In fact,
you'd think the Tech Talk Today would be on my list since it's got my face on it.
Yeah. Well, it's just black and white, though.
It's bold and beautiful. Don't ever just don't do that. That's bold and beautiful.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. JupiterBroadcasting.com/stickers. Yep. Stickers. That's where you go. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Did you know you could submit content to the show? A story you think we should talk about, a Kickstarter. Didn't like that Kickstarter of the week? Well, guess what? You could submit one over at techtalktoday.reddit.com. You can also leave us feedback at jupiterbroadcasting.com/contact and find out about our live time at jupiterbroadcasting.com/calendar. All of that's in there. Oh, yeah, in that Mumble Room, you can get information about that in our chat room. You can go to jblive.tv for that. That's a lot of URLs I give out.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but it's just different things for different stuff. Is that too much stuff? We should just have one page. No, because one page would be so ugly with all that stuff. Trust me, it's better this way.
You know what? Just go to our YouTube account and do show more in the fold, and all the links to everything are there too.
Yeah, that is nice. That is really cool. Yeah, of course, youtube.com/JupiterBroadcasting, where we are live when we do these shows live, and we post every show we produce over there. So you can get the feed there as well. All right, that wraps us up, and I think I got a little parched from doing this episode. I'm thirsty. I need something quick, something delicious.
There I was with Bunny, mixing up some quick, when magically we were in the laboratory of the mad Dr. Foolish, who was turning the world's chocolate into Brussels sprouts. We have to stop him.
I'll distract him with some quick.
And I'll unplug his machine.
Chocolatey quick? Ah, chocolatey quick. My machine! We sure pulled the plug on this one.
Katie, lights out already?
Almost.
Nestle Quick. It's magic in the making.